Hi guys, welcome back. So we have finished rigging legs, so let's rig this spine. So I've created this temporary group just to show this outliner cleaned just for a temporary time. Afterwards it's going to be parented on this node. So let's select this joint and let's unparent it for a while. Let's hide this group, Control H. And what we are going to do is we are going to read this spine. We are going to use splineRig01, so I display UI elements status line. Okay, it's just comfortable. So what we need to go is go to animation menu, skeleton, splineRig02. Okay, let's go to the option box. What we have got in option box. So we have got, let's reset these tools. Auto parent curve, what it do is it's auto create, it parented to this joint. Auto create curve, okay, we need to create a curve, so the option is we don't need to parent this. Auto simplify curve. So what happens if you do this auto simplify curve? Okay, so let's just create an IK handle and CV curve tool. Let's display CV. What it does, it's create a 3 linear curve, one each on the joint, and what 3 linear does is create 2 extra curves, extra CVs. So we are not going to use this option. So let's go to splineRig again. What we need to do is auto simplify curve, and we just need to create a 4 spines because auto simplify curve it's at linear, and auto simplify what it create is 3-degree curves. So let's create the number of spline to once, and let's create a splineRig. First select the root joint, then select this J joint. Okay, so now what it does, it create a IK handle, create a curve, and create an effector. So what different is splineRig is it create a spline and its IK cannot be moved. So this, the way we rigged the leg, we can move, we can control the IK by moving the IK handle, but this IK cannot be moved. It just have this own attribute. So okay, let's go and let's make the screen a little big. Okay, so let's show the outliner. So let's start this line. Okay, so what we are going to, how the IK handle, it's not controlled by this IK handle, so it's controlled by these curves. So let's mask the bone and let's go to control vertex and select. Okay, see here are number of curves what we can see, and we can control this IK handle by moving these curves. Okay, one by one. Okay, the way to do this is this. So let's rename this IK handle, let's rename it boy 01 underscore splin spline 01 underscore sp splineRig. Okay, and let's this control. Okay, we forget to write a prefix underscore C because it's at a center. It's control C, control V, and for this we have to name this spline curves, CVS for curves. So for effector we are going to do the same thing, splineRig EFF effector. Okay, so next what we are going to do is, some people use clusters. So how to use a cluster is select, go to surfaces, edit curves. Okay, so put cluster curves and create a cluster on each curves. So select the cluster handle and you can move the way like this, okay. But I'm not going to use these techniques. Rather than I'm going to use a simple techniques because it's what I love to do. So let's create a joint, set of joints. Okay, vertex snap to the in joint. Okay, let's deselect it. Let's vertex snap. Oh, it's not happening. Okay, let's create a joint and let's vertex snap. Okay, and let's increase its size to 1 so that we could know how it is. You can see it. Control D, and then let's vertex snap to the op joint. Okay, joint 2. So let's rename these joints. Let's rename first one spline01. I think for this spline 01 HIP hip 01, it's a joint control, so I'm going to write a JC for joint controls. It's not going to bound with our character. So let's select this, Control C, Control V, let's rename it CHEST chest. Let's rename it only hip. Okay, center hip JC. So what we are going to do is we are going to select this both joints followed by spline curves and go to animation module, go to skin, bind skin, smooth bind, and let's reset the settings. We are not going to use joint hierarchy. Select your joints closest on hierarchy, allow multiple bind positive limit, maximum influence to 3. Okay, let's put it 4 and maximum influence, maintain max influence. We don't need this option. Okay, bind skin. So what this do is it's got a cool control, because if you are going to move okay, so what we need to do is next create some joints that can control the FK moments of this body, because it have to move the way like this in the G. So let's create a set of joints. Okay, let's create a joint up here. Okay, I don't think it's creating a joint. Okay, let's have this and let's create a joint up here. First joint, okay, leave 2, okay, snap to the joints, again leave, okay, I have 1 2, getting this, okay, and last one at the top. So we have created a set of joints. So let's rename this prime, Control C, Control P. It's for a FK control, so let's rename it FK. Control C, Control P. 0 2 FK, Control V. 0 3 FK and Control V. 0 4 FK. Okay. So now what we can do is we can select this joint, last FK, and select this chest, and let's go to constant, parent constant, maintain offset on, and parent it. So what happened is, and let's select this FK joint, final joint, and let's select hip and do constant and parent constant. Okay, so now what happened is if we go and move this one, entire joints is going to move, and if you're going to move this one, okay, we can get this control out of this, because okay, if you're going to select this one, I'm just going to move this one, these two joints. Okay, so now what we can do is create some controllers to control it. So let's go to the next chapter and let's create some controllers for these joints.